What's up? What's up? What's up? Grand Rising. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Some of you up cooking early, preparing for today's feast with your family and close ones. Salute to y'all. Hope y'all have a very healthy, enjoyable Thanksgiving. As you see the title, you see who's the man, bar for bar? This is a conversation that can never die. I have spoken of this a couple times. What's up, Judah? What's going on? I have spoke on this subject right here between these two great MCs plenty of times. And look, I can never get tired of it. Every time I talk to people about it, I always get different opinions and things like that. So this is the thing right here. And as my brother Judah Ben TWT in the building, as he comes in, he said, yo, it's Big Daddy Kane all day long. Salute to Judah Ben, man. Listen, Big Daddy Kane and Cool G Rap, two of my favorite MCs. They at the top of my greatest of all time list. I will argue anybody down to the bone gristle about these two MCs. But one thing I have to do, and I constantly have to do this, I have to go back and revisit this topic because for myself, it's very hard. And it's been times when I switched up. It's times when I put Kane over G Rap. It's moments when I put G Rap over Kane. And I took some time off to think about it and said, well, Crush, the next time you PSA this situation, bro, you got to have your mindset on one and one only. It can't end in a draw. And I've been, escaping, what I really feel inside by using it a draw. But I can't do that. And I let my fans down for as people who respect me as a hip hop head and what I have done in Philly far as hip hop, which I don't talk about much. But let's get back down to it. You'd have been, listen, bar for bar, pound for pound, bar for bar, G Rap or Big Daddy Kane. Now we know they both started out in the almighty legendary Juice Crew, put together, orchestrated by Marley Marl, one of the best hip hop clicks in hip hop history. Sad reality is about that they wasn't long lived because they broke and fell apart very fast. Most of the members in the Juice Crew went on not to really have promising careers, and even with the talks of Kane and G Rap, their careers had came to a halt at some point. But just like mom and daddy used to listen to that old music and they call it oldies but goodies, they made hip hop music that we could never get tired of. And with that being said, they had lyricalism. It was lyricism in it. It was good substance in it. And it's the opposite of today when it's substance abuse. So when we talk about MCs, see, people get it twisted. They talk about MCs, they talk about rappers. There's a totally difference between MCs and rappers. Big Daddy Kane, Coogee Rap, hands down, two of the best MCs that ever touched the microphone. And I remember back in the teenage days, when you had all the MCs going at it, you had the crews going at it. Somewhat the Juice Crew going through it with the boogie down and things like that. Um, Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane was always the talk of the Juice Crew. And me and my friends, we always will always go back and forth about who was better. Now, for me, I've been giving Cool G Rap the edge lately because to me, Cool G Rap lyrically, um, he's lyrically better. I think he's lyrically better than Big Daddy Kane, but Kane, his style is unorthodox. You understand what I'm saying? Kane has a very unorthodox flow, a very slick style with some metaphors that'll make you be like, wow, and they be slick metaphors. Kane got those little little slick ass, not long metaphors, because you know with some MCs and some rappers they make long metaphors. Kane be having them short joints, you know what I mean? Put a quarter in your ass because you played yourself. You know what I'm saying? Those type of lines in the way that he said it, because his whole charisma, everything about Kane, it coincide with his lyricism. And he's a very witty guy, and he has a way of his delivery, right, in the way that he does it. And the reason why he was how he was a heartthrob as an MC um early in his career, because that's what the ladies, they loved that back then. But then when Big Daddy Kane tried to turn himself more so into like a pop, like instead of being an MC, like a pop artist, and started making too much love music. He tried to turn into the Teddy Pendergrass of rap, and it didn't work for him, because you had other rappers and MCs who was more so better in that genre of making that type of rap. But getting back to Coogee rap and Big Daddy Kane, you can pull up any Big Daddy Kane song or the top joints, his best lyrics, his best lyrical songs, and you take Coogee rap best lyrical songs, and you put them together and you listen to them. Now, Big Daddy Kane, ain't no half stepping. That's a battle rap. That was actually, yeah, it was a battle rap written in the form of a song. And I'm gonna walk you into a story, Judah. It was a battle rap written into a form of a song. Ain't no half stepping. Actually, I'm gonna give you a quick story about Big Daddy Kane. Um, this gonna blow your mind, but yeah, that song, Rap Stepping to Me. They want to get some, but I'm the king. You know the outcome. Another victory. You can't get. So pick your BCD, cause you're history. I'm the authentic poet to get lyrical. To step to me, it's going to take a miracle and step to me. No, that's the wrong move. So what you on, huh? Dope a dog food. Nice ass line. And actually, he used that before the song. That song was pressed up, Judah Ben. He used that in a battle. Yeah. See, he used the lyrics from Ain't No Half Step, and he used it in a battle against a guy from Philadelphia. I'm going to repeat this to you again. The beginning and some of the lyrics in Ain't No Half Step, before that song was pressed up, he used those words in a battle back in 1988 at the rooftop over there in New York, right? In Harlem, right? And he was battling a brother named Jazz Fresh. You can pull it up. He was battling this guy named Jazz Fresh. Jazz Fresh was one of the top MCs pound for pound back in the day here in Philly. Jazz Fresh is someone I grew up with and went to school with. He lived directly around the corner from me. And he was a big thing in Philly. And this is when when New York first stepping out, when New York first started stepping out of New York, the first place they came to before they went anywhere else was Philly. You see what I'm saying? Philly was the place that New York would come to get validation if they ready to move on around the rest of the goddamn globe. This is no cat. Because back then, before the South came in the Midwest, when you first start talking hip hop, and in the early days when it first started, Philly and New York was the biggest cities that was producing artists, and also a couple parts of New Jersey. You might have had Boston. It was only maybe a few states and cities on the East Coast that was really putting out, artists and things like that. DS was going on. So Big Daddy Kane, he got it. He came over to Philadelphia, right? And he was on this hot ass hip hop show called Street Beat. It's the opposite. It's the opposite title of Street Beat, except for they call it instead of Beat Street, they call it Street Beat. And it was a Sunday show where we play hip hop, and the radio host would play everybody Quee Quee, happy Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Family Day to you, sis. Right? So listen, they would play all the hip hop shit on Sunday from everybody that was around. So at this time, Big Daddy Kane was just getting noticed. And he came over to Philly to be on the Lady B show. This is back in late 87, early 88. He came over to Philly because he was getting he's being promoted like that. So he came over and he was at the radio station on Power 99 FM, and the kid Jazz Fresh, who I grew up with, he was on the show because he was a part of a crew called what was it was called Crush Nation. It was a two-man crew. It was the Hollis in Philadelphia. Anyway, the kid Jazz Fresh was spitting a rhyme, right? And he had a rhyme called War, WAR, right? And he said some things, in that rap. And later on, Big Daddy Kane, remind you, he was there, he was listening. So what happened when Big Daddy Kane came out with the song Raw, RAW, he came up with that concept because he was over here in Philadelphia and he heard the kid Jazz Fresh, who he wound up battling a whole year later. No bullshit. A whole year later, he comes out with his song and it wound up being a hit song and a fucking legendary classic hip hop song called Raw, RAW, to where Jazz Fresh had a song called War, Willing and Ready. And Kane flipped it the other way, Ready and Willing. And they styles kind of resemble one another. So what happened was when the song came out, Jazz Fresh and Snoozer B, they was over at the rooftop doing the show. And they was just over there doing the show. And Jazz Fresh was upset about the situation because when he heard Big Daddy Kane Raw song, he was like, yo, man, this motherfucker then came and did some slick shit, took a couple of my words, took the title of my rap, and reversed it because war spelled backwards is raw and vice versa. So this what built up the thing between the kid Jazz Fresh and Big Daddy Kane, which a lot of people do not talk about in hip hop. And Kane lost his battle. I'm keeping it real with y'all. You can find the fucking tapes. I'll find it for you, motherfucker. This is true. So what happened? They got over to the rooftop, and Jazz Fresh was over there. Big Daddy Kane was there. Dougie Fresh, Bismarck, and whatever like that. So what happened was my man Jazz Fresh performed or whatever, and then after that, Big Daddy Kane got on stage right after this kid. But what happened and what New York didn't know, what the people on the rooftop did not know, that Big Daddy Kane was already familiar with Jazz Fresh because he came over to the radio station and got the idea of his Raw song from this kid Jazz Fresh. So what happened, Jazz Fresh and Big Daddy Kane battled in 1988 at the rooftop. Cool G Rap wasn't there, but when they battled, Kane used the lyrics from Ain't No Half Steppin', which was already a pressed up song but wasn't formally released yet. Yeah. So what happened? They went at it and shit like that. The boy Jazz Fresh held this thing down. Of course, New York said he won, but it was a close battle. Big Daddy Kane won the battle, and y'all go, Queen. I don't know what happened. I guess they got kind of scared because I'm spitting the facts about what happened to Big Daddy Kane ass. But I'm back in effect. So what happened was they battled, and the thing, the comparing between the two came about when they had the symphony song, right? And when the Juice Crew was together, Kane and G Rap was both writing for members in the Juice Crew. They both wrote for Roxanne Shante, who was called the first lady of battle rap. Okay, they both wrote for her. So when days going around, who wrote a better song for Shante? Was it G Rap? Was it Kane? Vice versa. So it really started being a battle between them as far as the lyricism. Now, for success wise and mass appeal wise, I would have to give it to Big Daddy Kane because Kane had a more friendlier style as far as the masses. You know what I mean? So Kane had a bigger female crowd than Coogee Rap, which is always a plus. When you got the women buying and listening, it's always a plus. All right, because nobody consume more shit than a woman. So it started going around who was the best between these two guys. They was going to actually battle back then. But at that time, when they was starting to compare G-Rap and Kane together, they say, hey, they can't have these guys battling each other because they're part of the same crew. So there you go. Then Rakim's come along, right? It was that they never put out in the public. You had this that the record